Good morning, adventure travellers. We are on Museum Island, and in behind me is the Asian Art Museum, which is in the middle of town. You can see the old Berlin TV ball on a needle in behind there. I'm not going to go inside to see any Asian art, just having a walk around the island. As you can see, it's still pretty overcast, can't see any blue skies, but it's nice and warm and dry, so let's just keep plodding along. She's a big old unit, that's for sure. And we are going from the Asian Museum to the Berlin Cathedral. Boy, it's pretty impressive. Quasimodo's in there ringing the bells thick and fast at the moment. So that's a cathedral that we looked at from the riverside yesterday. It's very impressive, although needs a bit of a water blast if you ask me. And right alongside the cathedral is the old museum. It's got the Roman columns. Definitely going inside the old museum to check it out. Okay, just outside the front of the old museum. Very impressive columns and steps. So up we go. And looking back towards the park, and there's the cathedral in behind there. Amazing! Gotta say, I do love me some Roman columns. So we're in the antiquities part of the museum, and all this stuff here is over 2,000 years old. This vase in behind me, 600 BC. These warrior masks as well, 2,500 years old. This is the Greek goddess Athena, 400 BC. Pretty crazy that you can walk right up to it. Okay, so I'm in a circular room with marble statues. It's pretty amazing. And the roof. Amazing detail. I dare say they're all a couple of thousand years old as well. Here is a statue of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who featured in the film Gladiator.
How will the world speak my name in years to come? Will I be known as the philosopher, the warrior, the tyrant? Or will I be the emperor who gave Rome back her true self? There was once a dream that was Rome. You could only whisper it. Anything more than a whisper, and it would vanish. It was so fragile. And I fear that it will not survive the winter.
What's up, adventure travellers? Yes, another overcast, not very nice day in Berlin. It's been raining this morning, but it's eased up for now. It's probably going to have another crack later on. We are at the Brandenburg Gate. So the Brandenburg Gate is the beginning of the road from Berlin to Brandenburg, and it was built in the late 1700s. Pretty imposing. It's got the sculpture on the top there, but it's a very popular tourist spot. There you go. Probably not quite as popular as normal with this not so great weather. And anyway, next stop, Checkpoint Charlie. I understand it's around here somewhere. I'm not quite sure why I'm wandering around in the rain looking at historical buildings when I could be in a nice warm pub somewhere drinking a nice cold beer and the beer making capital of the world. But anyway, in this case the juice is definitely worth the squeeze. That is very impressive. Hope you guys like looking at historical buildings as much as I do. Maybe you don't, maybe you just want to see the motorcycling stuff. But anyway, this is the German Parliament. Can't even fit it all in. So here's a question for you, geography files. Berlin was the capital of East Germany. Back in the day, what was the capital of West Germany? Alright, sod this. I'm off to find shelter in a pub somewhere. Cheers! Alrighty, well, the rain has no intention of easing up today. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and finally making the way to Checkpoint Charlie. Look at this weather, just nasty. And here we are getting rained on to see the famous Checkpoint Charlie with McDonald's in the background. So this is the famous place where they exchanged prisoners and let people in and out of West Berlin back in the day. Just looks like a tiny little innocuous hut these days, but yeah, it was quite a significant piece of geography in the communist days of East Germany. Here's a picture inside of the hut of what it looked like back in the day. What's up, adventure travellers? Alright, we have a special edition of the 3-minute geography lesson. Today's lesson is on a city, not a country. That's right, Berlin. Let's go for a walk around the streets of Berlin and learn a little bit more about the history of this place. Berlin was founded in the 12th century. In 1701, Frederick crowned himself King of Prussia and made Berlin the capital of the new kingdom. In 1871, Prussia became part of the new German Empire, and Berlin retained its position as the seat of power. With the defeat of Germany in World War I, the empire shrunk to a republic, but Berlin held on as the centre of it all. With the defeat of Germany in World War II, the Soviets and the Allies split Germany into East and West. But Berlin was actually split 4 ways, with sectors being controlled by France, UK, the US, and the Soviets. This arrangement eventually morphed into East and West Berlin, with the famous Berlin Wall being built in 1961 to encapsulate West Berlin. With the collapse of communism in 1989, the Berlin Wall was torn down and East and West Germany were reunified. Berlin became the capital of the new country. Berlin is Germany's largest city with just shy of 4 million inhabitants. About 25% of the population are foreign-born, and about 50% of the population of Berlin has a migrant background. It's a thriving cultural, historical and political hub, and it's a must-see if you're in Europe. I've certainly enjoyed my time here, and it's on the short list of places on this long trip that I'll definitely be coming back to. Okay, well, it hasn't turned out too bad. What did I pay for this? €46. So, around about 90 New Zealand dollars. But anyway, it's a nice and tidy room for the night. Plenty of room for all my gear there hanging up. Even a little nook there for the laptop to do a bit of work. Just a splash and dash in Hannover. Got an early start tomorrow, over 400 Ks tomorrow, so 6.5 hours in the saddle. So better grab a quick bite and get an early night. Just pulled over at the petrol station for a coffee, and I was hoping the rain was going to ease up a bit, but no such luck. Look at that sky. Oh boy. Pretty nasty out there. Still 3.5 hours of motorway riding to go. But it is what it is. Let's get on the road. Alrighty, here we are in Amsterdam. Found a park for the bike. I've surreptitiously disguised it as a bicycle. No one will notice. It's parked with all the other bicycles up and down the canal, and it could very easily have slipped over the edge into the canal. So hopefully it won't attract any fines over the next couple of days, and we can go and see some sights and sounds. I still think the hostel is overpriced, but it's not a bad location. Look at that. We're in the heart of tourist town, but despite what we all think about tourists, they go to where the good stuff is. So that's what we're surrounded by. Anyway, time for a shower and maybe get out for a cool beer. I know I said it was a good location, but 110 New Zealand dollars for a room in a 10-bed hostel is just extortion. Put that in your pipe and smoke in Amsterdam. Hopefully my biking contact in Rotterdam will be in touch over the next 24 hours, and I can go and sleep on his couch for a couple of nights. And that will make the average cost per night a bit more palatable.